JBL Go 4. This pint-sized powerhouse squeezes out clear, lively tunes and handles dust and water like it's prepping for a rock concert in a sandbox. The bass tries its best, bless its little heart. But let's be honest, explosions sound more like popcorn popping, and you will miss the cinematic oomph unless you add a second one. Still, the easy app-tweaked EQ adds a little personal flair, and it's so tiny you could lose it in your pocket or your lunch bag. 6 out of 10. JBL Flip 7. The Flip 7 steps up with beefier sound, a sleeker design, and a battery that outlasts your playlist binge, making it the Bluetooth equivalent of a never-tiring hype man. Highs are crisp, mids are spacious, and it punches enough bass to shame other small tubes. Even your water bottle looks jealous. Sure, it squashes stereo into mono and loses some low-end throttle at party volumes, but with lossless USB-C and smart EQ, your backyard jam session just became legendary. 9 out of 10. JBL Clip 5. This mighty little clip-on arrives looking like it wants to scale Mount Everest and soundtrack your climb. Its design's a winner, and the sound is punchy for this size, with clarity and surprising musicality in the mids and highs. Bass is more of a gentle nudge than a wall shake, but the adjustable EQ and 12-hour battery mean you can tinker all day while you pretend to be an outdoor adventurer. Not quite the life of the party, but it's the perfect travel sidekick for singing in the shower or hanging off your hiking backpack. 8 out of 10. JBL Go 3. The JBL Go 3 is barely bigger than your soap bar, but sounds a lot cleaner. Plucky mids bring your podcasts and pop tracks alive, even if the bass feels like it's using training wheels. The design screams, "Clip me to your backpack," which is handy because with 5 hours of battery life, you'll want to keep moving, just not too far from a charger. It's waterproof, loud, and snappy, but unless your dance party fits in a broom closet, this one's just the warm-up act. 7 out of 10. Xiaomi Sound Outdoor. Think of the Xiaomi Sound Outdoor as the energetic puppy of Bluetooth speakers. Plenty of punchy bass, a clear enough sound, and hours of stamina that'll last well past your picnic snacks. Portable and weatherproof, you can shower with it or let it loose on your backyard. Though its mono sound and super mushy call quality mean it won't nail every job. At this price, it's almost rude not to buy two and make your own stereo setup. 8 out of 10. Sony SRS XB100. Sony's SRS XB100 is a little cannon that fires more robust sound than you'd expect for its size, with some serious guts in the bass, crisp vocals, and enough volume to embarrass your neighbor's cat. It's tough, waterproof, and lasts through barbecue rain delays, but don't expect Grammy-level highs. EQ is not invited to this party. If you need a mini that plays big and never flinches outdoors, this tiny titan is your spirit animal. 9 out of 10. JBL Clip 4. Clip this little daredevil to your backpack and suddenly feel 20% cooler as you unleash surprisingly punchy sound for something the size of a beefy granola bar. The redesigned carabiner means it hangs tight on your adventures, while waterproofing lets you party in the rain. Sorry, headphone jack fans, you're left out in the cold. It gets pretty loud for its size, but don't expect subwoofer level bass. Still, for hiking, shower singing, or bike rides, this is a pocket-sized joy that refuses to quit. 8 out of 10. Anker Soundcore Select 4 Go. If you want beach tunes without crying over lost gadgets, this floater survives waves and children alike, plus claims a wild 20 hours of non-stop battery, enough for 3 pool parties and an existential crisis. Sound-wise, it's punchy and clear, but for truly bottomless bass, don't expect miracles from this lunchbox-sized overachiever. The graphic equalizer tries its best, though. Whether it's clipped to a bag or battling dust bunnies under furniture, this portable powerhouse gives you a budget-friendly jam box that's genuinely hard not to like. 9 out of 10. Sony SRS XB130. Sony aims for budget bliss here, and you do get some bold, boomy sound with clear vocals. Just don't expect fireworks, because the volume maxes out at polite campfire rather than wild bonfire. The handy strap, rugged build, and waterproof shell practically scream, "Bring me on your city hike." But the single driver means stereo tracks just sound flat unless you splurge for 2. Overall, if you want good sound that travels light and don't mind sacrificing some thump, this is a solid pick for solo adventures. But large parties look elsewhere. 7 out of 10. JBL Go 2. The JBL Go 2 is so tiny, it might accidentally hide in your pocket, but it still knows how to blast tunes loud enough to make ants form a mosh pit. Don't expect booming bass or epic battery life, but honestly, for picnics, pool parties, and people who redefine travel-sized, it does the job without total embarrassment. Just keep the volume gentle and your expectations lower than its 5-hour battery life, because after that, it's nap time for the speaker. 5 out of 10. Ultimate Ears Wonderboom 4. The Wonderboom 4 walks into your life like the friend who never fails to show up rain or shine. Waterproof, dustproof, and tough enough to survive being tossed around like a frisbee. With surprisingly punchy 360-degree sound and battery life longer than most first dates, this little orb screams party starter instead of tech regret. You won't get fancy apps or speakerphone magic. But at this price, it's an energetic little beast that outpaces almost every rival in its size bracket. 8 out of 10. Ultimate Ears Boom 4. The Boom 4 is like the tall kid at the Bluetooth speaker family reunion, slimmer and stretchier than its little sibs, with crisp highs, punchy bass, and volume so loud it could drown out a neighbor's dog. Plus, it's waterproof and built for the outdoors. Pair it with another Boom 4 for actual stereo, or just let this solo cylinder blast a spacious, balanced sound through your next backyard bash. Some bass heads will want more thump, but for size, durability, and all-around fun, it earns a hearty thumbs up. 7 out of 10. Bose SoundLink Revolve Plus. This Bose may look like a mini lantern, but trust me, it blasts out sound that will light up any backyard hangout, and the handle makes you feel like you are carrying precious audio cargo through the rain thanks to its water resistance. Bass is surprisingly thumpy for a speaker this size, and the 360-degree sound can fill a patio so smooth that you will catch yourself grooving near the barbecue even if the charging cradle is a costly accessory. That price tag is fairly hefty though, and audiophiles will sniff out limitations near wired setups, but for everyone else, it is a portable powerhouse worth hauling around. 8 out of 10. Xiaomi Sound Pocket. The Xiaomi Sound Pocket is pocket-sized and weighs about as much as your morning yogurt, but punchy audio and 10 hours of battery life will keep your tunes rolling from bike rides to bungalow chill sessions. Its clever dynamic tuning and surprisingly strong bass do their best to trick your ears into thinking it is a much bigger speaker, and you can even dunk it in the pool, IP67 my friend, without losing the party. You will not shake the floor at a rager, but for personal jamming and on-the-go streaming, it practically marries value and portability, looking sharper than most budget gadgets. 8 out of 10. Bose SoundLink Revolve II. Get ready for slightly confusing feelings. This Bose is sleek, shoots sound in every direction, and makes podcasts and vocals pop, but it gets shy when it is time to crank up the party music or deliver that rib-shaking bass. It is decent for getting ready jams and family game night, but the micro USB charging and mono output remind you that the future left some features behind, so do not expect this one to slam at high volumes without squashing the sound. Great for casual listening, super clear mids, but not really a showstopper, especially for the price, unless you are just here for background tunes and lots of battery life. 6 out of 10. Marshall Willen. The Marshall Willen may be small, but it looks like it's ready to headline Coachella with its retro amp vibe and rock and roll swagger that screams, cool kid, even if it's just clipped to your backpack. Battery life is solid, but push the volume, and you'll feel the whole thing start to vibrate like it's caught the spirit of a Led Zeppelin encore. Except the bass is more polite golf clap than thunderous stadium roar. Great looks and super portability, but at this price, the sound leaves you hunting for more punch. 6 out of 10. Ultimate Ears Megaboom 3. The Megaboom 3 blasts out tunes in every direction like you just invited a tiny disco ball to your barbecue, and its bass actually rumbles enough to make your potato salad vibrate with the beat. Waterproof and tough. It's the speaker you toss in your bag and trust, but don't expect the sound to shatter any cabin windows. It's fun, punchy, and keeps the party moving with over-the-top battery life. If you want a Bluetooth speaker that can actually make a crowd groove and survive the trip, Megaboom 3 is the boss. 9 out of 10. Marshall Willen II. Willen II cranks things up with louder, richer sound and finally brings some much-needed bass swagger to the party, delivering real energy for your playlist while still rocking that iconic Marshall style. With battery life enough for a proper road trip and a super handy strap, it'll go everywhere, though the little speaker still loves to jitter when pushed to max volume. Big style, beefed-up audio, and the charm of a miniature amp make this a small speaker you'll be proud to show off. 8 out of 10. Tribit Stormbox 2. This little speaker shows up looking basic, but surprises with volume so loud, your neighbors will wish you upgraded to headphones. The battery keeps going longer than your social stamina, and the rugged, waterproof build means it can survive your wildest pool party or accidental sink dunk. Just avoid sandy beach drama. The sound isn't luxury level, but for the price, you can tweak your way to happiness with a robust app EQ and even party pair more of them. 8 out of 10. Sony SRS XE300. The Sony SRS XE300 comes in ready for adventure. Just rubberized enough to handle drops and rated IP67 for dust and water, so you can spill your drink in style. With loud, clear audio and decent bass, it fills a room, though its battery fizzles out faster than the excitement at the end of karaoke hour. It's a reliable pick if you love the Sony name, but since it's heavier on price than features, you might just end up wishing it threw in a free playlist. 6 out of 10. Bose SoundLink Micro. Bose shrinks the party into a pancake-sized powerhouse, pumping punchy bass and surprisingly crisp sound that puts its rivals in timeout. This rugged, waterproof cutie hooks onto everything. Your bike, bag, or even your dignity on a rainy day. and keeps jamming through splashes and adventures. 6-hour battery life is short-lived fun, but for dreamy sound in a tiny package, the Micro grabs the crown for small speakers. 9 out of 10. Tribit Stormbox Micro 2. Somehow this little brick belts out punchy sound and can even charge your phone, so it's basically your new pocket-sized party pal. Dust, water, and a few dings mean absolutely nothing to it, unless you go wild on uneven terrain and then the airflow throws a tiny tantrum. Controls can get a little confusing, but honestly, at this price, who needs a manual when you just want tunes and juice in a pint-sized package? 8 out of 10. Bang & Olufsen Beosound Explore. Want the best-dressed speaker at the picnic? This shiny aluminum tube is so stylish, even your cold brew will feel jealous. And it can survive everything from puddles to clumsy laptop bag flings. Sound is naturally balanced with twinkling highs, but if bass is your thing, you'll be wishing for a little extra oomph. Think more latte than monster truck. Great for outdoor elegance and audiophile vibes, but for dance floor shake, maybe try something chunkier. 6 out of 10. Sonos Roam. Sonos Roam is like your travel buddy who's always prepared. Packs bold bass for both the backyard and the block party, and its Wi-Fi tricks are great for home hangouts too. It is rugged and compact, with beefy sound and clever voice assistant options, but audiophiles might find its upper registers a little shy and clarity a notch below rivals. Still, for pure versatility and solid punch, this speaker earns its spot in your carry-on without breaking a sweat. 8 out of 10. JBL Clip 3. Tiny but mighty. The Clip 3 straps onto your bag like a musical barnacle, surviving rain, mud, and whatever chaos you throw at it. It pumps out sound way bigger than its bouncy little frame, so your hiking playlist doesn't have to suffer. Just don't expect booming bass unless you're counting on thumping your thumb on it. Perfect for shower concerts and golf carts, though real party animals will want more growl in the lows. 7 out of 10. JBL Charge. The Charge doesn't mess around. This chunky portable brick blasts out room-filling sound with surprisingly punchy bass, making it the designated DJ at any small outdoor bash. Battery life? You'll probably run out of juice before this thing does. Plus, it moonlights as a phone power bank for those desperate group texts. Sure, it weighs more than its mini cousins, but so do bragging rights when your playlist rocks the block. 9 out of 10. Ultimate Ears Boom 3. If being waterproof and loud were Olympic sports, the Boom 3 would score a medal, but its sound quality feels stuck in last season's playlist. The bright, booming highs blast out fun, but the bass is shy, so you might end up chasing depth like a DJ digging for better cables. Still, with stylish looks and simple controls, it's a party starter for folks who just want music now and questions answered later. 6 out of 10. Sonos Roam 2. This travel-sized powerhouse struts in ready for your picnic, but secretly dreams of your living room, offering wireless charging and surprisingly punchy bass for something barely taller than your water bottle. The sound is crisp and smooth, but let's face it, the battery would rather binge-watch a miniseries than power your all-night party. And waterproofing means you can drop it by the pool without crying. Great for fast movers, but the price tag is less roam and more stay glued to your wallet. 6 out of 10.